Dutch Bros Coffee, aka the best coffee shop ever, was founded on February 12, 1992, when brothers Dane and Travis Boersma opened up their first stand in Grants Pass, Oregon and Brazil. Becca Hawley.
Hi, I'm the Hope Diamond, and I have been traveling all around the world so that everyone can see all of my glitter and glitz. Today, I'm going to tell you all about my world tour. My first stop was Pendleton, Oregon, this past June. This state has about 140 Rainbow Girls and 13 assemblies. All of the girls were so excited to see me that they invited me to an all-membership dinner before the opening sessions of their Jurassic Journey-themed Grand Assembly. They loved me so much that they let me sit in the east for the entrance of the grand officers who came in wearing beautiful green dresses. I couldn't help but to notice the sparkly bling that they had on their ears, and I was told that in Oregon, the Grand Worthy Advisor picks out a special accessory for all of her grand officers to wear, and that she gets another piece of jewelry in addition to her beautiful shiny crown. I was also told that the Grand Worthy Associate Advisor moves up to become the Grand Worthy Advisor, so that after being appointed, she has an entire year to plan out her term, which includes being able to select her own Grand Assembly theme and mascot, which are both announced at Grand Assembly. However, the adjective for the mascot is chosen by all of the Grand Officers at their retreat. After having a shiny good time in the great state of Oregon, it was time for me to continue on my world tour to Brazil, but I was told I was too valuable to be traveling such far distances. However, I did hear from some of the outstanding girls of Brazil Rainbow. They told me that Brazil is constantly bringing in new members. In fact, they are the largest jurisdiction in the world. They also told me that each year an assembly is chosen to host their Grand Assembly sessions, which are held in July. In addition to hosting, that assembly chooses the state service project for the year. I was so sad when my world tour had to come to an end, but I am very grateful for all of the friendships I have made all over the world, and will always remember this time as one of the brightest in my life.
Wisconsin is known as the Swiss cheese capital of the world. Each year, Wisconsin produces more than 3 billion pounds of cheese. Illinois and Wisconsin, Caitlin Howard.
Well, hello, dear. My name is Kathy the Cow, and you all look like a young girl I met from California Rainbow. She asked me all about Rainbow back in Illinois and Wisconsin. I told her all that I knew, though they won't let me into the meeting. Something about having a cow in the building they didn't like. In Illinois, they wear long dresses too, but they're not as big as yours. Their Grand Worthy Advisor also gets to wear a huge crown, and no hairpiece, surprising, I know. This year, the Grand Worthy Advisor's theme is go out on a limb and enjoy the view, and her symbol is a tree of life. She also gets to pick a flower and colors for her year, and she chose the iris and the colors of the rainbow. This year, Illinois' Grand Service Project is Life Source Blood Samples, and I have good news, California Rainbow. You can help Illinois save lives by donating blood right here in California. If you donate blood between now and Illinois' Grand Assembly in July, that donation can be counted towards their goal of 500 pints, which will save 1,500 lives. If you donate blood between now and July, you can tell Caitlin Howard through email, Facebook, or calling her, and that donation will be counted towards Illinois' efforts. Illinois also has a unique way of honoring their grand officers for the work they do. They have joint receptions, such as the Grand Line Reception and the Grand Bow Reception, and a group for every office. Illinois Rainbow is very unique, and they have lots of fun, just like California. Wisconsin does not have any active membership right now, but they are working hard in efforts for redevelopment so Rainbow can once again thrive there. Well, I better be back off to the farm. That famous Wisconsin cheese isn't going to make itself. See you later, California Rainbow.
Kentucky is not only home to the Kentucky Derby and the KFC food chain, but also the Happy Birthday song. Sisters Patty and Jay Patty and Mildred J. Hill wrote happy birthday to you in the year 1893. Indiana and Kentucky, Allie E.
Why, hello, everybody. My name is Linky, the Red Race Car. Are you ready for a racing, chasing, blazing good time? Drivers, start your engines. When I wave that there flag, all y'all are gonna put your pedal to the metal, you hear? Okay, on my mark. 1, 2, 3. Wait, what? I'm in California? Oh no. Let me find my map in my glove box. But this might take a while, so sit down and I'll tell you a story. And boy, do I have a story to tell you. Well, I was in the airport, shining my tires, when all of a sudden I saw this huge red thing. I looked behind it and there was a girl. I thought the girl put her big red thing on my hood, and I couldn't help but laugh. That dress bag was bigger than she was. The girl told me her name was Allie, and she was on her way to Indiana Rainbow's African Safari Grand Assembly in Columbus. The mascots of this Grand Assembly were African elephants, lions, and monkeys, and the colors were green, aqua, and banana yellow, touches of brown and animal print. The Grain-Worthy Advisor's motto was, keep a dream before you, a friend beside you, and God's love within you. Allie and I were delighted to learn that Indiana Rainbow has 12 assemblies throughout the state. We also learned that each year, the Grain Officers hold 3 schools of instruction and have a grain service project chosen by the Grain-Worthy Advisor. This year, it was to raise money to replace the bathroom cabinets and sinks in their state lodge and to collect items and toys for the Shriners Hospital. Allie was so excited to share with me her favorite parts about her time at Indiana Grand Assembly. She said she loved performing, singing in the rain, learning how to curtsy, and watching the grantee, the Grand Director of Grain Officers, the Supreme Drill Leader, and the Supreme Inspector perform a skit to the song, With Nene. I know Allie and I really enjoyed getting to know the Grain-Worthy Advisor and the Grain Officers, so soon it was time for me to fill up my tank and race back home. Unfortunately, Allie was unable to attend Grand Assembly in Kentucky this year, but she did tell me a bit about it. Kentucky Rainbow's Find the Princess in You Grand Assembly had emblems of castles and crowns, and their colors were lavender, mint green, and glitter. The Grain-Worthy Advisor's motto was, life won't sparkle unless you do. Kentucky Rainbow has 9 assemblies throughout the state. Allie and I also learned that each year the Grain Officers have Rainbow Camp in September and have a grain service project chosen by the Grain-Worthy Advisor. This year, it was paused with a purpose. Oh no, I think my tank is running empty. I better race back home before it runs totally empty. Goodbye! Vroom, vroom.
Don't let the name confuse you, but the town of Cherryfield in Maine is known for being the blueberry capital of the world, producing 99% of all the blueberries in the U.S. Maine and Massachusetts, Caitlin McCall.
Hello everyone, I am Tinkerbell, and I was flying around with Peter Pan, but on our way back to Neverland, he flew around the building, and now I can't seem to find him. As I was flying around looking for him, my wings were beginning to become tired, so I started to walk. This girl, in a poofy dress and a pretty bun, much like you ladies, picked me up and told me that her name was Caitlin and that she was part of an organization called the International Order of the Rainbow for Girls, and that she was on her way to Maine's There's Fun to Be Done with Maine Rainbow's Grand Assembly Sessions. I asked if I could tag along and learn more, and she said of course. So I sprinkled her with some pixie dust and off we went. Caitlin explained that the grand officers in Maine are elected after they attend tryouts. The girl puts down what office she would like, and then they go through trials for the ritual. And then, finally, the board decides who goes where. This year, the grand officers, the mascots, are different Dr. Seuss characters. And we work with other Masonic organizations to help the Friends of Jacqueline and Dyslexia Center. Our next stop was Massachusetts Safari Grand Assembly Sessions. In Massachusetts, they hold several pre-service events, such as town days, where the local assemblies volunteer at the fairs of their communities, and teddy bear drives, where they made teddy bears and donated them to the local fire stations. In Massachusetts Rainbow, they also have their own Rainbow Camp that lasts several weeks throughout the summer. They also participate in a Rainbow Ball, which is an event that benefits the scholarship funds. They wore white dresses. The new mascots are giraffes. And the Grand Service Project is the Animal Rescue League of Boston. They wore white dresses. My adventure with Caitlin had come to an end. I sprinkled her with pixie dust and sent her on her way home. As I was flying around, I ran into Peter Pan and flew back to Neverland.
Even though Rhode Island is the smallest state, it is home to the Big Blue Bug, which is the world's largest bug statue. The bug is 58 feet long and is 928 times the size of an actual bug. It was built at a cost of $20,000, and it proudly sits on top of the New England Pest Control Building. Connecticut and Rhode Island broke whiting.
Marty? Great Scott, it looks like I'm stuck in the future again. Excuse me, can you tell me what year it is? Okay. My name is Dr. Emmett Brown, and I was just here a year ago. I was in my plutonium-powered DeLorean time machine, and it broke down in Providence, Rhode Island. There was an event called Supreme Assembly going on there, and they even had a theme, which was Rainbow is a Rhapsody. And boy, did I think I was lost. Anyway, while I was trying to see if I could simply use a pineapple pool floaty to replace my time machine, I got to meet up with a young woman who was from Rhode Island. I tried asking her a few questions about why everyone looked so fancy to try to figure out what decade I was in. She went on to tell me about how in Rhode Island Rainbow, they have a year-long Grand Assembly theme. And this year, it is Beauty and the Beast, and they have 6 active assemblies. However, their decade is not as futuristic in style. Instead of hoops, the Grand Officers can wear straight dresses or a crinoline. Another interesting fact is that the Grand Worthy Advisor gets to announce the names of the girls in Grand Choir, the Grand Representatives, and the Grand Officers. While I was stuck in Providence, I also got to meet up with a girl from Connecticut. Little did I know that I would end up seeing her again in 2017 at their Grand Assembly. In Connecticut, all of the Grand Representatives wear sashes that are made by their very own Grand Worthy Advisor. Their Grand Officers are a little different looking than California. Instead of wearing big loop dresses and having their hair up in a hairpiece, they simply wear white dresses. However, their Grand Worthy Advisor gets to wear a big old crown, which kind of confused me when I first arrived, because I thought I ended up in England. The representatives and the Grand Officers are also given a name throughout their year, and little did I know that they would be the secret to more gigawatts. The Grand Officers are called the Help Heroes, and the Grand Representatives are the Shooting Stars. Thankfully, with their help, I was back on my way. Now I'm out of
York was the first state to require license plates on cars. They started requiring them in 1903. Soon after, in 1918, almost every state had adopted them. New Jersey and New York, Madeline Munoz. I just can't seem to get it right. Oh, hey there, California Rainbow. Mary Lee here. Were y'all in sessions? I am so sorry. Jaws has been nagging me to learn his theme, and for some reason I just can't seem to get it right. Madeline makes it look so easy. Speaking of, where'd she go? Oh well. Whoa. Calm down, people. I promise you, I did not eat her. Well, I guess while I wait for her, I can tell y'all a little bit about our good friends in New Jersey and New York Rainbow. Madeline wasn't able to travel to her states this year, so she sent me to check up with them instead. See, I was just cruising around New Jersey with my friend Caroline, and I ran into a familiar face. She was in a straight white dress and had a confidence that radiated out of her ears. It was one of the girls from New Jersey Rainbow. This little guppy was on her way home from their annual Grand Assembly workshop, where girls from all over the state get together to hear inspiring words from a guest speaker, and the grand officers put on mini seminars for the girls. When this little guppy was Grand Cheerleader, she and Grand Faith put on a workshop to teach the girls how to walk and carry themselves through a meeting. She also told me that their grand charity project this year is the Masonic Wheelchair Track and Field, which is the exact same project that they've been supporting for the last 6 years. She also told me that the grand officers planned a day to take the girls from all over the state to get to see Disney on Ice, and all the girls had a blast getting to bond with their fellow sisters and meeting new prospective members. Before too long, it was time for me to say goodbye to the girls from New Jersey and make my way up to New York. See, I was a little bit lost in the big city when I got there, so I stopped to ask for some help. The first girl I came across was towering tall on high heels and was clad in all white. It was one of the girls from New York Rainbow. I asked her, so how does a girl in New York become a grand officer? She said that you only had to have held 3 offices within your local assembly, be 13 years old, and apply. She also said that the grand officers for the following year are appointed months before Grand Assembly. She told me that the junior past grand worthy advisor and 2 grand officers are selected to serve on a junior grand executive committee, and they are in charge of selecting the grand charity project for the year. New York has been very busy supporting Camp Felix, an organization that pays for children to get to go to summer camp who normally wouldn't be able to afford to do so. This little guppy told me that New York sells candy bars and holds penny wars against the northern, southern, and central parts of the state. Well, I guess I better get back to learning the theme. I don't understand why I can't get it down. I better go find Madeline so she can teach me. See ya! West Virginia is considered the southernmost northern state and the northernmost southern state. Maryland and West Virginia, Melanie Gazazian.
My name is Vanessa Violet, and I belong in Melanie's Crayola box. When she took me traveling this year, we had lots of things to do, lots of people to meet, and lots of pages to color. The first page she colored was in Charleston, West Virginia, at the Refuse to Be Ordinary Grand Assembly. She used me and my sister crayons to color in the Mardi Gras scene. She colored in all of the masks and boas in the brightest colors, but made sure that the grand worthy advisor's dress was all white and her crown shimmered. I had to miss out on Friday Fun Night because Melanie left me in the hotel room while she and the West Virginia girls got to go and see Finding Dory. The 4 enthusiastic assemblies in West Virginia have many state charities, including the Shriners Transportation Fund and Autism Awareness. They raise money for these amazing projects. With Soda Tab Recycling and March for Dimes, but primarily volunteer for their state service projects. As a Violet girl, I am proud of their service. With West Virginia's Grand Assembly being over, Melanie said it was time to head on over to Maryland. The next page she colored in Hunt Valley, Maryland, was at the Nothing's Impossible with Maryland Rainbow Grand Assembly. Melanie just could not put her coloring book away as she learned all the new things about Maryland Rainbow. She found out that if a girl wants to be a Grand Officer, they have to have their interview questions practiced and their application ready, because only the most qualified young ladies of any age are Grand Officers. Maryland has 9 extravagant assemblies that host grand receptions and have many guests attend these fun and formal events. Sometimes they'll go on themed scavenger hunts, and other times have initiations. In addition to all the fun they have, they also serve with events like volunteering for Relay for Life and having Canvas fundraisers. Their state's service project is the Gail Sachs Scholarship Fund, which provides scholarships for Rainbow Girls, and their state charity, the Dreaming Zebra, provides art supplies for schools with lacking art programs. Now, isn't that just the most colorful thing you have ever heard? To support the spectacular Grand Service Project, each year these ladies hold a charity ball. Then each Grand Worthy Advisor selects her own exciting collectible. This year, the girls of Maryland collect change in teacups because their theme is Alice in Wonderland. The amount of pages Melanie and I colored was overwhelming and so full of all the amazing memories Melanie and I made on our trip. Uh-oh, it looks like she needs to buy a new pack of crayons. Hope to see you on the flip page.
Alaska and Hawaii, Rosemarie Taylor. Oh, I see that I'm on the wrong part of the beach. You see, my name is Moana of Motunui. Have you seen my boat or a big Polynesian named Maui with a fish hook? Rosemary's helping me find my way back to Tahiti, and from the looks of those dresses, we are nowhere near the island. Come to think of it, they almost remind me of these girls in Hawaii wearing muumuus that look like the ocean. I think they call themselves Rainbow Girls. Yeah, that's them. In Honolulu, they have 2 assemblies and have initiated 4 girls since last year. The Grand Worthy Advisor picked the Grand Assembly theme, and Union There is Strength. She wore a big jeweled crown. The girls have told me they have done food drives, visited the Shriners Hospital, and have learned hula dances to perform for the Masons. They even have done lodge servings to give to their Grand Service project called the Shriners Transportation Fund to help transport hospital patients to hospital facilities for free. Unfortunately, Maui and I had to say our goodbyes to continue on our journey. But as we got closer to the island, the volcanic monster Te Kapura so far back in the ocean that it started to snow. Luckily, Rosemary was there to help us, and she told us that we were in Alaska. There we met another group of Rainbow Girls. There they have 3 assemblies and all go to Rainbow camps to learn more about leadership, membership, and rituals. They even have set goals for both their state and assemblies to gain more membership. Even Washington and Idaho were eager to help them on a few weekends. Uh-oh, I think I hear Hey trying to eat Tafiti's heart again. Hey, no! Mahalo, everybody! Bolivia has 37 official languages. Their main language is Spanish, but they have an additional 36 recognized languages. Bolivia, Lindsay Friesen. Hola. Oh, hello. I guess I'm not in Bolivia anymore. My name is Fiona, and I am a monarch butterfly. I am on my migration from Santa Cruz, Bolivia, the biggest butterfly sanctuary in the world, to Santa Cruz, California. From the time I've spent in places like Sucre or La Paz, the two national capitals of Bolivia, I have met many Arco Iris Caraninas, or the rainbow crows, as you would call them. And I have learned that there are 11 assemblies, with around 250 members nationwide. Every girl wears designated capes, called capas, to represent their assembly. And did you know that their altars are actually triangular? Isn't that so cool? Every assembly also chooses a mascot. They have plenty of animals to choose from, since Bolivia is home to 40% of the planet's wildlife, including llamas, sloths, and even pink dolphins that swim in the Amazon River, which runs through the country. It is definitely much sunnier here compared to the rainforest. Did you know that it rains almost 30 feet there every year? Bolivia is also home to the Cristo de la Concordia, or Christ of Peace, which is the largest statue of Christ in the world. It stands 108 feet tall and is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the country. Just as the nation's motto is "Unity is Strength," the Rainbow Girls of Bolivia all unite in the service they perform in their communities. They perform such projects as visiting local nursing homes and the homeless, offering them snacks and conversation if they speak the same language. Bolivia has over 30 official languages, although Spanish is the most prominent. I heard all about their Grand Assembly, which happened in January, and it looks like Grand Assembly in Bolivia is quite similar to California, except that the Grand Jury Advisor wears a crown. They perform many ceremonies at their convention, which they call La Gran Sesión, which includes majority, initiation, in memoriam, ritual competition, and a huge party. Their mascot last year was the giraffe, but I can't wait to discover what their next one will be when I fly back. One difference between Bolivia and California is that there are no beaches anywhere there. They are completely landlocked. They do have a beautiful lake though, Lake Titicaca, which is the highest lake in the world. This body of water is also famously still and reflective, and its surface mirrors the Andes Mountains which run alongside it. Well, I think my wings have rested enough now. I should probably continue my migration. Adios! If you go to Pike Place Market in Seattle, you can visit the first Starbucks coffee shop. To answer your question, no, they do not accept Dutch Bros stamp cards there for some odd reason. Washington, Idaho, Oriana Samonte.
Ah, hello there. You must be those California Rainbow Girls Loriana keeps talking about. I am Loriana's fairy godmother, and I seem to have lost her after the ball. I have those pizza rolls she wished for. Yes, Loriana took me to a ball in Yakima, Washington. There, we got to spend some time with Washington, Idaho's classy Clydesdale Grand Officers and beautiful Bluebird Grand Representatives during Washington, Idaho's Cinderella-themed 90th Annual Grand Assembly, where we believed all things are possible. One of Loriana's favorite moments was when their DeMolay officers performed for their talent show. And it was amazing when their Grand Worthy Advisor wore a crown and rode into the Grand Assembly room in a glowing carriage with a light-up hair bow and dress. Loriana told me lots of things are similar to California's Grand Assembly, but one big difference is that all of their Grand Officers apply, and they elect their Grand Line Officers. Several girls run for each line office,
and during Grand Assembly, they interview with the rest of the girls during a luncheon. And at sessions, the voting happens. Again and again, they vote until all offices are filled. Gloriana was so excited when her former correspondent, Courtney, was elected Pope. It was later when Gloriana met Allie, the new Grand Fidelity and representative to California. She let Gloriana know that Washington, Idaho has about 400 members and has 32 assemblies, one of which is only a few months old. Every year after their Grand Assembly, they hold a dream camp, where all of the girls get together to have fun and hold the first official visit of the Grand Work Advisor. This year, the girls are raising money for Hilarity for Charity, raising awareness for Alzheimer's disease among millennials. I sure am glad Gloriana has so many friends at the mall. Well, that is all the time I have to chat. The pizza rolls are getting cold. Bye! Here is Mariah Felix, Grand Circulation Manager.
Hello, my fellow dear and friends. I am Mariah, and I just clocked in for my shift working at the United States Postal Office in San Diego for the day with my coworker, Mrs. Fallon. I brought Delilah, my best dear Calvin, to help us get the job done in a timely manner. It was a good thing that the mother advisor from my assembly in Orange, California was so willing to drive both Delilah and I out to San Diego for our shift to work on the circulation of the Pot of Gold newspaper. After a few bumps in the road and many times of looking like a deer in the headlights, all of this information that once seemed like a foreign language at first has finally started to make sense. We start the circulation off by gathering address labels for all of our subscribers. We then separate the papers out into two separate groups. One that needs to be wrapped, and then we need to figure out how many each wrap bundle needs, according to where it is being sent, and then a stack of just single copies. After this process is done, we then go through our list to figure out and separate the papers out and rubber band them together depending on where it is being sent. Oh dear, let me just tell you that rubber bands plus Mariah always end up in some kind of an injury before my shift is over. After the papers are rubber banded together, they are then given a special label. After this label is placed, it is then placed into a sack where they can be sent off to its forever home. We may have made a few mistakes along the way, but it was never anything that we could not fix. Oh dear, look at the time. My shift is just about over. I better get heading back to the post office to clock out. Don't forget, if you would like a copy of the circulation, or if you would like a copy of the souvenir edition of the Pot of Gold, please pick it up at the Pot of Gold booth located in the exhibit hall. Goodbye, everyone.
If you are looking for something to read while lying on the beach, you should check out the newest edition of the Pot of Gold. It is filled with articles and stories from the girls of California Rainbow. Here to tell us about the Pot of Gold is Miss Rachel Troll, Grand Editor.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 87th session of Grand Assembly. Today, we would like to tell you about how we create a state newspaper for California Rainbow.
Guess who's back? Back again. Hog is back. Tell your friends. Now everyone report to the paper, to the paper, to the paper. Now everyone report to the paper. All right, stop. Edit time.
Right. So as I was saying, our newspaper is called the Pot of Gold, also known as the POG. The Pot of Gold is distributed 5 times a year, and for 3 of the editions, assemblies send in articles to be put in the paper.
Isn't it nice that we got all of the articles from the assemblies? And isn't it nice to get 100 Hey, but we know where she lives. Yeah, you know who he is. Sometimes we gotta stay days. Welcome to the Pog House. We play our music too loud.
So anyways, back to the paper. We each have our own laptop at the Warnies house, and we each work on one half of the paper. When we are finished, we put the paper together onto one computer.
If everyone reported in California, you'd see them wearing red Pog pins across the USA. Then we get to go edit all of your mistakes.
Why are you putting everything I say in the song?
If I did not, I think I'd have a heart attack.
Would you really?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Well, we put the paper together using the program InDesign and use Photoshop to edit the pictures. We use clip art as decoration as well as watermarks for the paper.
Cause if I got pics, I don't need clip art, I don't need watermarks, Pog, you're my all. And oh.
Once everything is placed, it is time to edit. We go page by page looking for errors such as typos and fonts.
If we stop and we look and we will find them time after time.
You're right. If you would stop singing, we would be able to move on.
Keep moving on, cause you know we'll edit this, we'll edit that.
Okay. Once everything has been edited and all of the errors are fixed, we put the document into a PDF and send it to the printers.
But we keep on waiting for the Pog to send.
Once the pot of gold is sent, our job is done, and the paper gets printed. The circulation manager then sends out the pot of gold across the state.
I'm done, da-ba-dee-da-ba-da, da-ba-dee-da-ba-da, da-ba-dee-da-ba-da.
If your name is called for the assistant editor or editor's trophy, or are the new Northern and Southern reporter, please wait until after the speech for a picture behind the East.
Let's do the editor's trophy. You got the words that I need. It is Lucy Cappers from Lancaster Assembly.
I would now like to announce the assistant editor's trophy, and it goes to Aria Ramirez from San Francisco.
Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Lupita Piniata.
Hello? My name is Bob, and I think I lost my friends Kevin and Stuart. This reminds me of a story. Oh, I'm going to tell you my story. Well, remember when I was in London? You know, King Bob. On my way back home, I got lost and ended up in this weird place called, California. I was really scared. But I found this cool girl named Lupita? Yeah, Lupita. I remember because she was in a big dress and her hair was fluffy like my teddy bear Tim. So I knew we would be friends. Anyways, when I met her, she told me she was in this really awesome group called the International Order of the Rainbow for Girls. I love rainbows. She told me there were rainbows everywhere, so I asked her to tell me more. She started telling me about the Rainbow Girls in Montana, like the 2016 Grand Assembly in Bosnia, Montana, which had the theme, How Can I Keep Them Singing, and their Grand Service project, the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Their Grand Birdie Advisor was chosen to serve Montana Rainbow as Grand Birdie Advisor for a second year. Lupita told me that in addition to Grand Officers, a Miss Montana Rainbow Service is selected. She is like an honorary Grand Officer that helps raise money for the Grand Service Project. Wait, where's Tim? Tim? Oh, there he is. Okay, back to my story. Next, Pepita started telling me about Rainbow in North and South Dakota, which she said is actually only one jurisdiction. Crazy, right? She told me that their theme was Once Upon a Time in Rainbow Land, and that their colors were light blue, silver, and pink. Their symbol is the storybook, and I heard that they love to help other people. So they have 2 grand service projects, the National Children's Book and the Literacy Alliance. With these projects, they are also hosting several book drives, just like California Rainbow. I think I see my friends Kevin and Stuart. I'd better catch up with them before I lose them again. Bye-bye! Vito, Vito, Vito.
Arlington National Cemetery, located in Virginia, is home to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier symbolizes those who gave their lives in World War I, World War II, and the Korean War in defense of our country. South Carolina and Virginia, Brittany Schroeder.
My, oh my! Look at all of those beautiful dresses! You know, you all remind me of Rainbow Girls. Oh, you are Rainbow Girls. Well, I better introduce myself then too. My name is Dorothy the Dinosaur. You know, it's really funny I'd run into all of you. This year, I took a break from the Wiggles to travel with my good friend Brittany, and she has told me all about what Rainbow is like in other places. For example, did you know that in South Carolina, their Grand Assembly theme this year is bows, pearls, and Southern girls? And that their mascots are eels. How cute is that? You know, they don't look exactly like you though. In South Carolina, their dresses aren't quite so large. That is, except, of course, during their Southern Belle competition, where they all wear dresses from the antebellum period. Those are big and poofy too. South Carolina is a very large state and has a very active pledge group who even gets their own luncheon at Grand Assembly. They're also working on a membership goal and are trying to increase their size by 25%. How great would it be to share our rainbow love with that many more girls? South Carolina also has a service project, and this year they're donating to a program called Veterans on Deck. Not only are they also helping by writing letters to soldiers who may not hear from anybody else while they are on duty, but they are also making fleece blankets and stress relief dolls. I think that South Carolina Grand Assembly sounds like a blast, and I hope I get to go someday. You know, another place I'd really like to go? Virginia's Grand Assemblies. This year, I heard that their theme is be bold, be confident, be selfless, which I think perfectly encompasses everything that Rainbow is about. Virginia is a much smaller state, having only 9 active assemblies, which allows them to have some fun and bonding moments. For example, at Grand Assembly every year, they have a game night where they all get together and play games and enjoy one another's company. They also even have a countdown on Instagram, counting down the days until Grand Assembly. Their size also allows them to have a grand service event where they all get together
observe daylight savings? Arizona and New Mexico, Alejandra Amigo.
Why, hello there. I know that I look a little prickly because I am a cactus, but I promise that I won't pinch you. I don't get to see many people since I moved from Arizona to Aldi's desk at college. But since I have moved there, I have learned so much. I have a perfect view of her desk, and I get to see everything that she does on her laptop. She has been spending a lot of time corresponding with 2 girls. One of them is from New Mexico, and the other is from Arizona, where I am from. While she did not get to go and meet these girls at their grand assemblies, she still got to talk with them and learn about everything that she missed. Do you want to hear about what I learned? Yeah! Oh, good. Let me tell you all about Arizona and New Mexico Rainbow. One of the girls Ollie was able to correspond with is also Grand Hope. And boy, did she have a lot to share about where I am from. Not only is Arizona home to the Grand Canyon, but it is also where over 80 Rainbow Girls are part of 6 amazing assemblies. They have been spending a lot of time to help Camp Y, their camp that was vandalized 2 years ago. One of the things that they talked about was the Little Sister program in Arizona. It is very similar to California's Pledge program, but in Arizona, the Pledge Girls are called Raindrops. Isn't that delightful? Last year's Grand Assembly theme was English Garden, Garden of Bees. The first day of Grand Assembly is informally opened, and everyone enjoys a picnic and watches a talent show. Now, about New Mexico. It is also very interesting. Last year's Grand Assembly theme was the World Series of Rainbow, Believing in Yourself. The first day of Grand Assembly, everyone enjoys a picnic. Oh, and watches a talent show. One of the days of Grand Assembly, everyone does a service project that is personal to the Grand Worthy Advisor and a fun activity that ties in with her theme. Towards the end of Grand Assembly, the Grand Worthy Advisor shares a slideshow presentation filled with her memories throughout the year. This year, New Mexico's Grand Service Project is Right Care Scottish Rite Childhood Language Program, and they have been collecting books that will be donated at their Grand Assembly this June. I hope you enjoyed learning all about Arizona and New Mexico Rainbow. I know Ollie cannot wait to go and visit these rainbow jurisdictions. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.
The first rainbow initiation was held on April 6, 1922 in McAlester, Oklahoma. The initiation took place in the Scottish Rite Temple, and 171 girls were initiated. Oklahoma and Texas, Amanda Ramos. Amanda. Oh, hello. Has anyone seen Amanda? She's about yay high, has a thing on her head which she claims is not a bird's nest, but that's up for debate. No? Great, because I'm hiding from her. Oh, where are my manners? Hi, my name's Susie, and I'm Amanda's favorite suitcase. Hey, you all look familiar. You wouldn't happen to be Rainbow Girls, would you? Let's try that again. You wouldn't happen to be Rainbow Girls, would you? That's what I thought. That's so cool. You know, I've met Rainbow Girls before, but not from here. Amanda is the grand representative to Oklahoma and Texas, and together we were able to meet a lot of fantastic girls from those jurisdictions. We did have the pleasure to meet their grand representative to California. This year's Grand Assembly is from May 27th through the 29th at the University of Oklahoma in Norman. Their theme is our Make-A-Wish Foundation. Along with Mickey and Minnie Mouse as your mascot, Oklahoma's Grand Assembly also includes the anchor as their face symbol, the hibiscus as their flower, and 1 Timothy 4:12, and Proverbs 3:5-6 as their Bible verses. Our next adventure was to the great state of Texas. What was supposed to be a 5-hour trip turned into a 21-hour nightmare. I'm not the one to go pointing any zippers, but American Airlines. I'm watching you. Last year's Grand Assembly theme was on the road again with Texas Rainbow and was held in Waco, Texas at the local convention center. This year's Grand Assembly is in June with the theme being the greatest sisterhood on earth with carousels, popcorns, and balloons as their emblems. They have not one, but 2 state charity projects, which are the Texas Scholars Right Hospital for Children and the Shriners Burn Hospital for Children. Did you know that in Texas, they use the contemporary ritual and assemblies can be appointed to serve as grand representatives for the term? El Paso number 4, Conroe number 73, Dallas number 33, Schwartz number 280, and Amarillo Holodero number 19 were all given the honor to serve as grand representatives for the following year. Wow, would you look at the time? I better zip on out of here before I experience another 10-hour layover. See you later, California Rainbow. New Orleans is the home of the Mardi Gras celebration, which historians believe is a tradition that started as early as 1699. Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Emily Hilsinger.
How's it hanging? I'm David Pumpkins. And last Saturday night, Emily and I traveled in my elevator to arrive in the spooky South. After traveling past the zombie ride and the creepy girl from the ring, we arrived on the 18th floor. This is when those spine-chilling Louisiana Rainbow Girls showed us how to move and groove New Orleans style. They were so thrilled to have us at their grand assembly, Rainbow at the Rising Sun, which showcased Asian culture. Their grand worthy advisor and her grand officers lit up like jack-o'-lanterns. Every year, Louisiana Rainbow has an event called Miss Louisiana, where girls from Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama Rainbow meet up and have a 3 statewide fun event. Last year, all the girls took a boat ride through New Orleans. And this year, they went to the Space Center in Huntsville, Alabama. The girls in Louisiana were as sweet as Halloween candy, but Emily wanted to make sure. We visited other floors on the 100 floors of Frights, so we went back into our elevator. After only traveling up 2 floors, we arrived on floor 20. Floor 20 was a real scare, because that is when those Mississippi Rainbow Girls like to pop out and frighten you. Their grandmother advisor told us all about their whimsical grand assembly, Welcome to Wonderland. Their Alice in Wonderland theme was complete with teacups, playing cards, and Mad Hatters. Sadly, skeletons were not a part of it. However, we were fortunate to learn about their grand service project, Stand Up for Kids, which provides food, clothing, and resources to homeless and at-risk youth. When not raising money for this incredible charity, Mississippi Rainbow Girls are busy having pasta crumble parties, serving at local Masonic functions, and traveling all across the Magnolia State. We loved learning all about Mississippi Rainbow, but soon the elevator doors were closing and we had to get back on our way. Then we arrived on floor 25. Floor 20, right? We entered Arkansas at our own risk and were greeted by their grand worthy advisor. Their grand assembly was themed classically youth, which was elegant and classy. Just like California, every year they choose a Miss Service. This girl has to write an essay and complete an interview before being selected. It is a high honor, and she is then treated just as a regular Grand Officer. After getting to know about the many opportunities Arkansas Rainbow Girls have, they all wanted to know who I, David S. Humphreys, was. So I told them, I'm my own thing. Well, Emily and I loved visiting the South. We soon had to get back on our way in order that we can make it back to floor 31, California's floor, on time. And up we went. Any questions?
Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream was founded in Vermont in 1978. Today, Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream is sold in all 50 states, as well as over 30 countries. Canada, New Hampshire, and Vermont. Alexandria Fowler.
Winnie the Pooh, where are you? Well, hello there. I'm Christopher Robbins, and I am looking for my best friend, Winnie the Pooh. I've been searching the 100-acre woods for hours, but cannot seem to find him anywhere. Last time I saw Pooh, he was talking with Alexandria about a group of young ladies who are dressed a lot like those of you here. He was listening to the stories and adventures about Rainbow Girls in Canada, New Hampshire, and Vermont. Pooh told me that the first story was in Canada, where all the Rainbow Girls came together in a small town called Oakdale. It was a magical time when all the assemblies came together for a whole new world session of their Grand Assembly. The motto for Canada's Grand Assembly is today's special moments are tomorrow's treasured memories. The Grand Officers of Canada wear straight dresses of their choice instead of the hoop dresses like those of you here. Who then told me about his another special place called New Hampshire Rainbow. The girls in that jurisdiction have chosen to support the Girls at Work Incorporated as a grand service project and will be hosting a lip sync battle and collecting textiles for an EcoSmith recycling for the grand service project. The Grand Officers of Canada and their assemblies will meet for Speak with the Trees with New Hampshire Rainbow, embracing the main characters of the Lorax as their mascots. The last story she shared with Pooh was about some amazing young women who have chosen to follow the motto of inspiring superheroes with Vermont Rainbow, and have chosen to honor the Wounded Warrior Project as our 2016-2017 Grand Service Project. With the Grand Officer's mascot of a German Shepherd, their super sharpest assemblies will meet or have chosen to live by the words of there's a superhero in all of us. We just need the courage to put on the cape. I know Alexandria has a heart full of love and wants to share about the places that she has come to know and love. I would really like to find Pooh and go learn more about our rainbow friends. Can you help me call for Pooh on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Pooh! There you are! Come on, let's go learn more about our rainbow friends. Thank you.
Detroit, Michigan is known as the car capital of the world. In 2014, more than 2.3 million cars and trucks were produced in Michigan. Michigan, Mariah Felix.
Oh good, I think I made it to the herd just in time to tell you all about my report about Michigan Rainbow that I will be sending out with the next edition of the Pot of Gold newspaper. Hi, I am Mariah, and I'm the local mail carrier for the United States Postal Office. And on just so happens I was recently assigned to report about Michigan's jurisdiction. Oh, how exciting is this? I got to learn something new. I was in contact with some really amazing girls that had given me all of the ins and outs about Michigan Rainbow. The Grant-worthy advisor that was recently appointed, alongside of her other state officers, have some really big and exciting plans for this year. After being appointed, they hold this thing called Grandee Camp, where they gather together to have fun and learn all about each other. I thought this was a great bonding experience for them to start off the grand year together. The Grant-worthy advisor's motto for this year is Dance to the Music of Your Dreams, and she had chosen a great charity project called the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. The local assemblies support their charity project by participating in pancake breakfasts, spaghetti dinners, and bake sales. I mean, who doesn't love food? Did I mention that all of these funds are earned by 13 active assemblies across the state of Michigan? I was so glad to hear how great their membership was doing. They have 100 active girls and just about 150 active adults that work alongside of them all. That is such a wonderful thing. Oh dear, I would love to tell you more, but I think I just heard my boss, Mrs. Regier, call my name. I better get going before my dance and prance and pop is ordered to come and find me. Goodbye, everyone.
Hershey's Chocolate Company was started in Pennsylvania. Each year, Hershey's produces over 1 billion pounds of chocolate products. Ohio and Pennsylvania, Jillian Tinsley.
Hi everyone. Wow, Jillian didn't tell me there would be this many people here. By the way, I'm Lucy the Ladybug, and Jillian is slowly catching up to me. I'm a fast flyer, so she told me I could tell you about our trip without her. Last July, I flew to Pennsylvania with Jillian and a couple friends. I got to meet a lot of really cool people there. One was even wearing a crown. After they were done touring Philadelphia, Jillian told me they were going to put dresses on and go to a convention at the Jaffa Shrine Center in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Jillian told me it was for Rainbow Girls, and even though I didn't fully understand what that was, I was excited because there was a Disney theme with the motto, Shine Your Light. I got to meet a lot of really cool people there. One was even wearing a crown, and Jillian told me this was because she was their Grant-worthy advisor. She told us she gets to choose her theme and colors, as well as designs for the dresses that the girls wear during Grand Assembly. Their Grand Floor officers wore white, and the pages and representatives wore either teal or lavender to match her colors. She also chose her Grant Service Project, which was the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and their girls raised over $5,000. Our first night at their Grand Assembly was my favorite, because they hosted a reception for their Grant-worthy advisor, and we got to eat pizza, cookies, and buzz the night away. Their Grand Assembly sessions also included softball tournament, bowling, and a trip to the water park. Pennsylvania's new Grand Service Project was the Special Olympics, and their new theme is Be the Difference. And her symbols are starfish, seashells, and lighthouses with navy blue and bright yellow as her colors. Next, I was able to travel in the car with Jillian from Pennsylvania to Ohio. Along the way, we stopped in West Virginia and soon made it to Kenyon College, where Ohio's Grand Assembly was held. Their groovy Grand Assembly sessions were filled with music from the 70s, as well as a parade for the representatives where each girl wore a costume themed to her jurisdiction. They held a carnival event similar to California's, where they had a parade of costumes that Jillian and her friends were asked to judge. Their new theme is Show Your Rainbow Glow, and their mascot is a butterfly. Throughout the year, they hold a statewide initiation performed by the Grand Officers as as well as many other fun events. Their 35 busy assemblies are raising funds this year for the Shriners Hospital for Children. I had so much fun at these grand assemblies, meeting so many amazing girls, and I can't wait until Jillian takes me on another adventure soon. For now, it's time for me to fly away.
Have you ever had to call 911? The now nationwide 911 system of emergency communications was developed and first used in Lincoln, Nebraska. Kansas and Nebraska, Christiana leads us.
Thumper? Oh, Thumper! Where are you, silly rabbit? Have you seen my friend Thumper? We seem to have gotten separated while traveling. Wait a second. I'm not in the woods anymore. Oh, I know. You must all be friends with Christiana. I met her when I was on my travels to Nebraska. I thought she was a special guardian of the forest at first, but she told me she was a rainbow girl. I thought she must be the one that makes the colors in the sky. But she laughed and told me she was a grand officer for California coming to visit girls in Nebraska. She told me that in Nebraska they have 6 awesome assemblies, and their theme for Grand Assembly was dinosaurs galore. At the end of their sessions, the new ground officers surprised their assemblies at a really cool party where they had pizza and played a game. They sat in a circle and told everyone there if they got a grand office. At their grand assembly, Christiana also told me they did a special march with a whole lot of colorful flags. Their new ground-worthy advisor loves Western stuff, and she was really nice to Christiana and her travel companions. As I was getting ready to leave, I noticed that I seemed to have lost dear old Thumper. So I said my goodbyes to everyone and went out to look for him, and ended up in Kansas. I bumped into a familiar face, and it was Christiana. I was sure she had to be a guardian of the forest, but she giggled and told me she was visiting other girls in Kansas too. I didn't get there in time for all the fun events, but Christiana filled me in on everything that happened while she was there. She told me they drove go-karts around a track. Good thing I missed it. With my hooves, I probably would have crashed into everything. I also found out that their service project was autism awareness. How cool is that? We had so much fun talking, then I realized I had to go so I could start looking for my buddy Thumper. Oh, there you are, you silly rabbit. Well, I guess I'll be going. Goodbye, everyone.
Alabama is home to the world's largest office chair, which is 33 feet tall with a 15-foot square seat. Alabama, Georgia, and North Carolina, Ariana Miller.
Hello all. Welcome to Rainbow Airlines. Please find your seat and store any overhead luggage. I'm your stewardess, Alex. Why, you must be those rainbow girls Ariana told me about on her flight to the South. She said she represented the 3 beautiful states of Alabama, Georgia, and North Carolina and was traveling to each for their grand assembly. Our first stop was Alabama, where it was a find yourself the rainbow session. Their service projects were Shriners Hospitals and the Rainbow Supreme Temple Fund. They were a small but mighty group of girls with a full corps of 18 officers and 4 choir members. At initiation, 2 new members joined Alabama Rainbow and immediately became choir members, and Grand Charity gave the Rose Cup. After majority, they had a baby dedication. The members of Alabama were full of Southern charm, as we all sat down to eat home-cooked meals together following sessions. Next on Ari's journey was Georgia, after a quick stop at the Coca-Cola factory in Atlanta. You know Ari, she had to have a cola. counterpart. She met them at the grand banquet, and they took her out for her first Krispy Kreme donut. Their theme was, "It's a small world after all." Their service project, Samaritan's Purse, is a non-denominational Christian relief group. The grand officers were beautiful in green, and the grand representatives were stunning in white. The adults performed the Grand Cross of Color ceremony, and for initiation, Grand Treasurer gave the landscape apron lecture. Ari discovered how her counterpart to California had actually been initiated in California. The grand officers stand behind the bow until they are installed, and there is no clapping during installation. The outgoing Grand Weight Advisor hands down her crown, and this year, the Knights Commander assisted in the crowning ceremony. Last on Ari's journey was North Carolina, where she celebrated wonder, whimsy, and wow in a jolly holiday with Mary Poppins Grand Assembly Sessions, where the Grand Representatives had a costume contest. Their service projects were scholarship programs and an autism education grant. The girls of North Carolina were excited as they had initiated 70 new girls since their last Grand Assembly and had beat the challenge of 40 new girls issued by the Supreme Inspector. She had to dye her hair rainbow colors. They opened 3 new assemblies and initiated 12 new girls during Grand Assembly. My goodness, we're about to take off, and I forgot to tell you where the emergency exits are. I hope you enjoy your flight. What's that? Oh, the pilot tells me we will make our connection on time. Thank you for flying Rainbow Air.
Did you know that Nevada has more mountain ranges than any other state? It is the 7th largest state in size and has more than 300 mountain ranges. Colorado and Nevada, Aaron Dees.
Hello, this is Susie Sunshine reporting to you from the IRG Weather Center. Let me tell you about the weather for my trip to Colorado. It was windy, rainy, sunny, and the worst of all, I almost missed my flight because of a tornado. But the time I had in Colorado was amazing. Once inside, I met the Grand Representative to California, who told me all about Colorado Rainbow. She wanted me to inform everyone that there are 6 active assemblies with a membership around 150 girls. Grand Assembly is held the second weekend in June at a hotel with a different location every year. The Grand Worthiest Associate Advisor is elected at Grand Assembly by the girls and then becomes Grand Worthy Advisor the next year. This year, Colorado Rainbow Service Project is a Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, which they will raise money for this organization and also take part in the JDRF One Walk in Denver. They also raise money for their state scholarship funds, which provides rainbow scholarships to several girls throughout the state. All too soon, it was time for me to say goodbye and head to Nevada's Grand Assembly in Las Vegas. There was another bumpy plane ride that I almost missed, but I finally made it in Nevada Rainbow. I can't get over how hot it was. It was 115 degrees. Yep, you heard me, 115 degrees. Besides the heat, my adventure there was sizzling good. Once inside, I met the Grand Representative to California, Melissa Ebert, who told me all about Nevada Rainbow. Nevada Rainbow has 10 active assemblies with a membership around 150 girls. I was surprised to learn that there are many similarities between them, but also some major differences between them. One of the major differences between them is that in Nevada, they wear knee-length dresses and that the grand officers can have their hair down for meetings and receptions. Also, a very interesting fact that I thought everyone should know is that Grand Charity and Grand Hope host fundraisers
that are separate from the statewide service project. Charity raises money towards this marketing team and hopes proceeds go to the scholarship fund. This year, Nevada's Grand Wave Advisor, Megan Sakularis, has picked Honor Flight for their statewide service project. Honor Flight is an organization that mission is to transport American veterans to Washington, D.C. to visit the memorials dedicated to honor their service and sacrifice of themselves and their friends. That wraps up my trip, but I sure am glad to be back in California with our amazing weather and my dynamic deer. This is Susie Sunshine, reporting to you from the IRG Weather Center. Now we go back to Heidi.
Most of you already know that Florida is home to Disney World, but what you may not know is that the entire resort covers 30,500 acres, which makes it approximately the same size as San Francisco. Aruba, Florida, and Tennessee, Veronica Claviter.
Oh, why hello there. My name's Jade, the Panther. Oh, wait, this looks familiar. Oh, I know. This trip reminds me of the time I went on a trip with my friend Veronica. Our trip started out in Pearl Harbor, Florida, where we met up with a bunch of girls who called themselves Rainbow Girls. They're all you need is a little bit of pixie dust, grand assembly, and they're all so nice. Veronica and I found out that the girls there submit an application for the office or a representative they'd like to hold for the year. They also wear straight white dresses. They don't select a grand rainbow dad, but all of their adults are very supportive. Florida's Grand Assembly service projects are Convalescent Homes, Canine Companions, Masonic Homes, and Cancer Society. We then traveled to Franklin, Tennessee, where we met up with more Rainbow Girls. Their Grand Assembly's theme was Once Upon a Time in Rainbow. And the girls there also wear straight white dresses. Their Grand Assembly service project is Camp Bobby Creek, a place a camp for children with severe illnesses and their families. The camp never charges the families and provides a fun-filled atmosphere where you can make new friends. Tennessee's Rainbow Girls work on fundraising for their Grand Service Project for 3 years. And the girls also submit applications for the office they'd like to hold for the year. Veronica was not able to attend Aruba's Grand Assembly, but she did find out that they have 54 registered girls and are working hard on growing. They do not have a Grand Assembly, and you heard over the Jungle Vine that they have a tour of the island every year. And they don't wear hoops. Veronica's travels came to an end, but she had a great time. Next time you see her, ask her about the selfie with the deer.
Missouri ties with Tennessee as the most neighborly state. Missouri has a total of 8 states surrounding its borders: Iowa, Minnesota, and Missouri. Kayla Warren.
Well, hello. You all look very familiar, but I am not sure from where. Well, anyway, you are in for a real treat because I'm going to tell you a story about the fastest traveling corn in the world. And a quick spoiler, that corn is me. Whoa, where was I? My truck must have taken a wrong turn because there I was in Iowa when I could have sworn I was on my way to California. There wasn't much I could do besides sit in my corn stand and wait for someone to come by. Then all of a sudden, these girls came up to me wearing matching dresses. They called themselves Rainbow Girls. There were even 2 who wore crowns. One was the retiring Grand-Worthy Advisor, and one was the Grand-Worthy Advisor for Iowa-Minnesota Rainbow for 2017. Sounds pretty fancy if you ask me. They decided to take me along with them to their Grand Assembly. Iowa, Minnesota has 6 Rockin' Assemblies. They meet up throughout the year for events such as All-Star, Spring Fling, and of course Grand Assembly. They were very welcoming and even took me out to ice cream after a picnic and obstacle course race. In addition, their retiring Grand-Worthy Advisor heard about California Rainbow's Grand Service Project and donated some backpacks to a place called home. Aw shucks, isn't that sweet? Iowa, Minnesota's theme for their upcoming Grand Assembly is Walk Among the Stars and Follow Your Dreams. Their colors are gold, silver, and white, which match the Grand Officer and Grand Representative dresses perfectly. Their Grand-Worthy Advisor chose the American Brain Tumor Association as their state service project in honor of her dad, who is currently battling a brain tumor. While at Iowa, Minnesota's Grand Assembly, I met Missouri's Grand-Worthy Advisor, Erin McCann. She wears the crown too and told me that it is passed down from each Grand-Worthy Advisor before her. She had so many fun facts for me, it was amazing. Missouri Rainbow has 20 fun and active assemblies. The Grand-Worthy Advisor chooses all of the Grand Officers except the line, which are elected. Did you know that Missouri Rainbow is the only state that has an organized Grand Cross of Color? This means that they have a Grand-Worthy Advisor, Grand Officers, a State Dean, and State Officers, which are made up of majority members. They share a state service project, and this year it is Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. The Grand-Worthy Advisor's theme is Let Rainbow Grow, and the State Dean's theme is Beautiful. Now I realize where I recognize y'all from. You look just like my friends from Iowa, Minnesota, and Missouri, except you just have bigger dresses and something corny looking on your heads. Well, anywho, after a lot of new information and friends, it was time for me to make my way back to my home of Brentwood, aka Corntown, California. Well, I better be going, but before I do, here's a quick joke for you. Don't tell secrets in a cornfield because there are too many ears.
Did you know Australia has about 60 million kangaroos? That means there are twice as many kangaroos as cattle in Australia. Australia and the Orient Pacific, Kylie Walsh.
Good evening. My name is Bridget Irwin, expert in exotic animals, and recently I've been learning all about animals in Australia and the Orient Pacific. One species in particular is found all over the world, but is particularly thriving in the Philippines. This species is known as rainbow gulls. These rainbow gulls are constantly migrating in large packs called assemblies. In the Philippines alone, there are 17 assemblies, some with as many as 40 members. Each individual assembly's members look identical, wearing the exact same dress. One assembly in particular, Perla number 1, wears white dresses with distinctive markings in 7 colors across the right shoulder. This allows assemblies to be easily recognized and creates a group mentality. The entire subspecies of the Philippines is split up into 3 regions: Luzon, Mindanao, and Visayas. Each of these regions holds mini sessions where they escort dignitaries, exemplify ceremonies, and hold service projects. Luzon held their mini session in April of 2016, and Visayas and Mindanao held a joint mini session in October of 2016. Grand sessions in the Philippines are held every 2 years and have similar activities to the mini sessions, but they also appoint new Grand Officers. In 2015, the Grand-Worthy Advisor of the Philippines made the theme for her term Grow with Rainbow, and the next Grand Session will be held June 1st through the 3rd of this year in her hometown. Another species that is absolutely thriving in the Philippines is the Asian caribou, national animal of the Philippines. They use their large, wide, hooked feet to displace their massive weight when they wade into the water to prevent from sinking. The rainbow gulls population reaches all the way to Australia, where they are currently rebuilding assemblies after near extinction. This subspecies is heavily relying on each other to gain members. The two jurisdictions in Australia, New South Wales in Southern Australia and Queensland, are constantly traveling outside of their territories to assist one another. Since they are on the endangered species list, New South Wales and Southern Australia don't have any grand officers, and they won't be holding grand sessions this year. But as the population continues to grow, the leadership is looking into holding grand sessions next year. There is very little information on the other jurisdiction in Australia, but I can tell you about one other species that lives there, the red kangaroo, Australia's national animal and the world's largest marsupial. They have incredibly strong legs that allow them to reach speeds upwards of 56 kilometers an hour, and in a single leap can reach heights up to 1.8 meters high. Well, I've got to check back at the animals at the zoo. Cheers!